Oh my goodness. I better not say the N word.
What? No,
Nipples.
no, 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 no. Jeez.
It's okay. I'm not literate anyway. Do I look like I can afford literacy lessons? I live in England. We can barely afford freaking air soup at this point.
Yeah, that's true. So everyone, welcome. This is just basically me dragging someone kicking and screaming into learning about a fictional universe that I particularly enjoy. This time I'm bringing Makari along. Say
I
hello,
was
Makari.
kindly minding my own business in my room when all of a sudden a blinding light was appeared above me, and I was transported across the land, and all of a sudden ended up here. I don't know who you are, where I am, why I'm here, but you know what? The vibes are cozy, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, and I do appreciate the fact that you didn't really struggle when I put the ropes on. I do appreciate that.
I mean,
It
I
was
did
very
need a snack.
Yeah, I mean, it was very professional of you. And yes, I know that American snacks are not exactly, shall we say, healthy, but I do appreciate the fact that you didn't immediately squirm. So,
Why would
everyone,
I want to do that? You're assuming that I wouldn't enjoy the process.
that's that is these are all valid points. But as we proceed, everyone, so I'm starting to get back into trying to get into doing online TTRPGs, and I'm currently world building for a campaign set in the Battletech universe. And I realized that some friends of mine do not, in fact, know anything about this universe. So I
Okay, you
thought,
could stop at anything, because that pretty much sounds to me. Do I know anything? Haha, no.
oh, there, head
Not a
empty,
single thought going on between these ears.
head empty, only VTuber. But yeah, so I'm going to be showing one of the best videos there are as far as getting people feet first into this universe. This is the universe of Battletech, and I told you I would give you a brief, like 1 minute primer before we get in here because this kind of jumps into things. So here's the primer. Short answer: 2108. We discovered faster than light, and we started colonizing space. After that, around because we didn't have faster than light communication, feudalism actually took hold, and we ended up with a whole bunch of great houses in space. Imagine Game of Thrones, but with giant stompy robots. So, after that, around 2570, we created what was essentially the Starfleet of this universe, which was called the Star League. And then in 2770, the head of the government was killed, there was a coup, there was a civil war, and everything fell apart after that. And for 250 years, all of those great houses have essentially been fighting to determine who's going to be the new First Lord, and so far they haven't figured out that no one's going to be the new First Lord. So that's the brief primer.
When will humans realize that it always goes downhill the second we discover fast and light travel?
Uh, Probably never.
You're right.
I
The
mean,
human race is doomed.
no, I
Why are
mean,
we even trying, man? Aliens are never going to want to come visit. We're too busy trying to figure out what skibbity toilet is. Meanwhile,
oh,
the aliens are going off into the far distant flunks of reality and all the distant parts of space, and we're still stuck here on TikTok, man.
you know what? I do take comfort in the fact that if the aliens ever discovered what Skibbity Toilet was, they would probably just scourge the planet and say, yeah, we're just going to let the next race take over.
They'd probably
This
do a
one,
better job of it than we would at this point.
probably. The, you know, whatever is next. First we had lizards, now we have monkeys. What would follow after that? Would that be fish? Would we become like a fish-ruled world?
Oh god, what was that? Oh god, there was a creepypasta
The
kind
creepy
of.
Oh, the Vaporeon creepypasta?
No, it's like
Why is that
a
the first one that came to my mind? Damn it. I am so fucking brain rot.
it's like a uh sort of future reality set of videos where it's like the evolution of humanity through the far-flung future, how humanity gets invaded by the creators and we get morphed into these horrifying mutations, and it what a
Oh,
penis is it? I can't remember what the name of it was for the life of me.
I know the one you're talking about, and the name escapes me, but it's uh That's going to be something we're going to have to look up. Hey, editor, I'm going to look this up later. I need you to pop the name of this series right up on the screen right now. Okay. So when we do the edit, that title is right above our heads. Oh, that's what it is.
Oh, revolutionary.
Exactly. We'll fix it.
Yeah, it's an analog horror of some kind that I literally only ended up watching like 2 months ago, and I've already forgotten the name of it because, haha, imagine remembering anything.
Yeah. Oh, hello. The kinky cow god has found me again. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do this primer. This is Text Talks Battletech 101 of the Great Houses.
All Tomorrows, that's what it's called. Sorry.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay, all right. So, yeah. But
there is
you
no
have
future where humanity thrives.
Yes. You've got the screen share on, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, here we go. Anytime you want me to pause and you have questions, just let me know. My knowledge isn't all-encompassing, but I should be able to fill in the blanks. So, here we go.
Gotcha. I'm excited. I was like getting exposed to new things.
Comstar
More,
home video.
more
You have
nerd
no
con-
choice.
More nerd content that'll take up could be used for functional things that would help me in my life.
Doing what?
Knowing how to cook my meals in the morning? Don't need that. Let's make room for more nerd shit.
Welcome, new mech warriors, to the Inner Sphere, where you can keep whatever money you find so long as you live to payday. For our first lesson,
Ooh, it's got a bit that like OG Starship Troopers
Yeah.
vibe to it.
Yeah, this series started getting put together around the early 1980s. So you're going to see
That would be why.
Yeah, you're gonna feel a lot of 80s anime feel to a lot of these robots. So also, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, one of these nations is made up of nothing but weeboos. So
Oh no.
I'm gonna
So like VTubers?
Kind of. I'm gonna let you guess which one I'm talking about. The people watching probably already know. Yes, Heavenly Father does sound odd today. So
No, I sound normal. That lookalike is the one who sounds odd.
yeah, that's right. We're gonna
Thank you very much.
Yeah, identity theft is a real crime, Jim. So yeah, here we go.
Please. Or for people who can actually calculate projection power on an appreciable strategic scale, the 4 peer states, 1 remnant, and 1 hermit kingdom that make up the Inner Sphere. No, it's not a perfect sphere. Yes, there are things outside of it. Today we're talking about these assholes. These are the great houses of the Inner Sphere, and they're all very different in varying ways, but are mostly the same, in that they are all occasionally not very nice to each other. They also
this is some very June
vast
shit.
arsenals of planet-killing weapons, and on special occasion will trundle them out for public display.
I should mention that the series of wars that happened after the First Lord got narked are called the Succession Wars. There have been 3 of them, well, 4 of them. One of them happened. As far as the context of this summation in 3062, one of them happened fairly recently, but yeah, they've been bombing each other to the point where factories no longer exist, so all the weapons that they're using are actually more valuable than the soldiers who are driving it.
I always love that concept, especially in like it's sort of a Warhammer concept as well. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like the Age of Darkness and everything, and how like in the modern setting of Warhammer, like they're starting to get that kind of production back because of like Belisarius Call and everything. I love the idea where like the old technology in its highest form is so much powerful, but they just can't make it anymore, which makes it more finite.
Yeah, there's actually a standing saying in Mech Warrior and Battletech, kill the meat, save the metal, where they literally instruct people, aim for the cockpit, narc the guy in the machine, and we can salvage the rest of it. So, yeah, so you can imagine it's a fun time to be around.
If you want to know why these people are fighting over such a vast territory and why they're so committed to erasing portions of their collective industrial base, history, and civilization, well, it's complicated. My best take on it is a two-parter, and most people find that...
Yeah, that series right there, the one he's talking about with the whiskey bottle and the boxing match, that's actually a really good two-parter where he describes exactly how the old government fell apart. And yeah, if you like this, we might do that one day, but any other like big, they'll probably get answered in that one. So
Sure.
a bit much.
I mean, sorry setting us up nicely.
As a basic
you know what? Like I said, if you like this, we can do that
a
later
primer
on. But I'm not
who's
going to.
most likely to kill you when you inevitably fuck up. But firstly, a disclaimer: I am biased. As a mercenary plying his trade in the inner sphere, I find concepts such as warfighting ideology largely a position of what you can cover up from the general public. Mainly because, at the end of the day in the inner sphere, it's about you and yours, and smoking craters tell no tales. They make a hell of
A good philosophy to have.
Yeah, I should mention that companies like General Motors are still around at this time period.
Of course.
General Motors actually made one of the best mechs in the universe called the Marauder. So...
Well, if our world's motor industry is anything to go by, it's always produce cars, produce motors, right up until the military pays you enough to build tanks and missiles and hi Boeing, nice of you to show up.
Yeah, actually, funny thing, Boeing actually still exists. They're in the Federated Sons, this territory right here. So
the fact that you know that is impressive. Nerd.
Yeah. Nerd. But yeah, it's funny because General Motors actually in this fictional universe created fusion power for the common person in the 2020s, and people have actually been sending them physical letters demanding to know where their fusion reactors are.
Amazing.
Point. Let's just dive in. This map is from 3067. Maps from after that are some number of reasons.
Oh,
and
yeah.
on an unrelated
The
note,
phone
let's
company.
just brush this radioactive ash off here, and there we go. 3067. Don't mind the flickering on the screen. I'm told it's mostly harmless. Mostly. Let's begin with the great houses themselves. I'll be moving clockwise as we go for those of you who understand time, and left-hand feed for people who understand timing.
All right. So can you guess which one of these is made up almost entirely of weeboos?
The one with big anime titties on the side?
You know, my first instinct is to say no, but I'm willing to bet that there are, in fact, massive empires of hentai makers in this territory, but this is the one we're talking about. House Kurita.
Well, I mean, in any stage in the future, it's any kind of modern setting that we have now just gets turned into some commercialized, corporatized nonsense for the future. It wouldn't be far-fetched me to believe that there would be entire cults and factions based around hentai in the future.
Are you kidding me? We're dealing with a civilization that developed faster than light travel, and I guarantee you, within an hour, porn was being streamed. That's how communication and recording technology advances anyway.
Welcome
Exactly.
to the wacky, weird world of the Draconis Combine. Welcome to a pervasive class system, and home to the galaxy's own homegrown, no-bullshit, sword-wielding, authoritarian samurai ruling class. Oh yes, this place is literally built off pre-spaceflight Terran Shogunate-era Japan. It's a monolithic, all-encompassing bureaucratic machine run on war and conquest that thinks optimal Christmas dinner is, by tradition, fried chicken. They're a
Hell yeah! My kind of shogunate!
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if KFC... I mean, KFC obviously operates in here because they're probably still doing those bomb-ass Christmas dinners. You know, the one...
And you know what? Even after all this time, I guarantee you they still probably have to deal with pervasive tourists coming over and causing them problems.
Oh,
Still
can
haven't
you
managed to fix
imagine...
that.
Jesus Christ, can you imagine what a space Johnny Somali would be like?
No, because I have a hard enough time contemplating that Johnny Somali isn't some horrible contagion that's escaped containment from somewhere.
Oh my god, Johnny
dude
Somali
is
as an
literal-
SCP.
Exactly. I am under the impression that in our modern world, Johnny Somali is a psychosemantic, reality bending thing that isn't abiding by the laws of physics. So,
Some kind of weird
eh,
pervasive fever dream or something.
exactly.
He's a walking, talking cautionary tale.
One collection
Exactly.
of ideas.
Cognito has it.
Behold,
There.
this is their throne room. Take that in.
Ooh,
This
pretty.
isn't just for show. This is their military. These are their uniforms.
It's the helmets
What I
from
find
Star
kind of-
Wars.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's the thing, right? When you get these things from the 80s, you'll see like so many trends of like the things that were over the time. And I love like back then especially, the idea of like regional stereotypes were really heavily reinforced through the styles of everything. Like
Oh yeah.
nowadays, like there's a lot more generalized styles across the board from different parts of the world. Whereas back then, different mediums would have their sort of take on things. And especially back then, like the class and the regionality of things were very much indicative of where they came from.
Yeah. It's also always like, what one decade thought the future would look like. Like you see what 60s Star Trek looks like compared to 90s Star Trek compared to now Star Trek.
These are their mechs. They fight like this all the time. Yes, those swords are very real and do brutal work.
Ah, so they're the Tau.
Yeah.
Not Tau, the Tau? Eldar. They look like the Eldar.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, walking around with a samurai sword the size of an office building, so...
Exactly.
All right.
Besides
so back to
one
the guy
office
in the
building,
chair.
or your
It
mother.
is frequently a guy
Ooh.
in charge of this.
Just pervasive over the comms, taunting another giant robot, saying, "Ya mama!"
So this
Yeah.
guy is called the coordinator. He runs the place. There is very little distinction between the coordinator as a person and the Draconis Combine as a whole. When people refer to the dragon in reference to Kurita as a house or a nation, it's interchangeable between the two entities. And no, the Draconis Combine doesn't celebrate the godhood of rulership with divine mandate. However, the coordinator's word carries essentially the same weight within their sphere of influence, so I'd not invite trouble, as Kurita tends to bury its enemies deep, headless, and by the million. They have no issues with troubleshooting in government, as trouble should be shot in the Draconis Combine. And if there is anything to fear from these guys, it's that they believe in a manifest destiny, which involves House Kurita controlling everything. The Draconis...
Because that's always the path to peace. It's my way or the highway, bitch.
Has anyone ever considered diplomatic approaches? I mean, mainly violent diplomacy. It only goes one of two ways. But has anyone considered just like, I don't know, offering KFC turkey, chicken, Christmas dinners or something, getting along, finding formalities, things that we can relate? No? Okay, cool.
You make jokes, but I have a feeling that if their drop ships were carrying KFC Christmas dinners instead of battle mechs, they probably would have conquered more worlds.
Yeah. It's called incentive.
Yeah. The carrot versus stick method.
This actually does feel very heavily like the pre very much like sort of Neolithic emperor times in the Warhammer universe before technology was starting to get really refined.
Yeah, like I said, the foundations of these great houses was because they went out into space and colonized before they had faster than light communication, so they had to rely on regional governments and regional lords, and they started absorbing each other basically to form defense pacts that eventually became the great houses. So it's kind of like, moving to a new house but not having telephone service yet.
Yeah.
Two worlds, which was then fed war and conquest through House Kurita's leadership. Kurita has had total control since the beginning, Aside from that one cadet branch that one time in the family who was wiped out long ago. As far as how this thing runs, well, the 5 pillars represent the Draconis Combine. The pillar of gold is the government. The pillar of steel is the military. The pillar of teak is the people. The pillar of ivory is religion, philosophy, and all that crap.
Yes. You can convince a lot of people with the power of crispy chicken. Yummy.
Look,
I know. I'm one to attest to that. You give me a bucket of chicken, there ain't much I won't do for you.
yeah, it's KFC. It's not a meal. It's a religion. Damn it.
Exactly.
And I'm about to crusade on this bucket.
My allegiances may not be for sale, but my tummy is.
Yeah. I will not betray my people for. Wait, is that extra crispy?
Better be some of that good shit.
The economy. These 5 pillars of state philosophy are represented in the ministries of state organized through them. For instance, the Pillar of Steel encompasses the Ministry of War, the Department of Indoctrination, the Bureau of Substitution, the Assembly of the Grand Inquisitor, the Admiralty, the Physician Staff of the Dragon.
Whoever gives Theodore his meds.
Speaking of authorities, Draconis Combine bureaucracy tends to be impenetrable to outsiders, impossible to reason with, and largely maintains the status quo. Actual decisions are typically made by people with significant military rank, in the form of military governors appointed to oversee civilian authorities. Decision maker is typically the one with the sword. And if you want to see,
as it should be, if I have the point.
Yeah, if they've got a sword, it means they've got a point to prove.
Nice argument. However, sword.
So I see you have a very valid point. However, have you considered the fact that your head is no longer attached to your neck?
How are you going to argue when your head's not on your body?
Exactly.
see that sword up close and real fast?
Beheaded, point invalid.
You only need to fail to take its bearer seriously, or merely disrespect their presence. Also, they had this whole death to mercenaries thing for a while. Not my favorite government to work with. Then again, they rarely need mercenaries ever because the constant fighting and insanity of the samurai class means they're pretty much ready to throw down whenever. If they lack a cause, they'll find one quick. The leaders of the Draconis military are
Just
often
get a
peerless
hobby.
warlords.
That
Surely
was
there's better things that that if they don't have a cause to fight for, they'll find one. Have you considered knitting? Have you considered maybe gaming? Maybe something that doesn't cause the dismay of other people. I mean, there's only one thing more potentially deconstructive to society, and that's maybe playing Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, you know, this was the hobby they came up with, so.
I get your point, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, death?
Yeah.
Equally at home in local shogunal politics or on the battlefields of their neighbors. The Draconis Combine is the state that war built, maintained by Bushido, psychotic warriors, and a shitload of weapons. Finding Kurita forces in your backyard is frequently the precursor to speaking Japanese in your near future, whether you want to or not.
Okay, right here. As far as the great houses are concerned, this one is the closest to being the good guys, but I would refrain from rooting for people for the same reason you can't really find a hero in a show like Tiger King. So,
Well, it's the same as anything. It's all different shades of gray. There's no such thing as good. There's just different ways of being the bad guy.
yeah. It's just whether or not their goal is to screw you over. Whether or not you get
Exactly.
screwed over, they don't really care, but whether or not it's the goal, that's the difference.
Next door is ruled by House Davion, the so-called good kid of the successor houses. The noble one, the one that likes autocannons a lot. That's these guys. Technically, the state is the Federated Sons, and they're another fun monarchy. House Davion is descended from English and French nobility, operating as constitutionally bound monarchs, and has been, since ever, trying to reinforce their position as champions of liberty and personal freedom at every annoying turn. Because of this, most people think House Davion, and by extension, the Federated Sons, are self-righteous assholes. And they are not wrong.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Mostly. But see, the story is a bit funny on that. Originally, the Federated Sons was a federation. In time,
Ducks,
the founding
go!
polities chose Delta.
Oh, yeah, no. A lot of these planets were named off the cuff just by people who first settled on them, and instead of finding better names, they just kept them. Dirk's
I don't know
Gulf.
who Dirk is, but wait a minute, Bristol.
Yeah.
I used to live there.
Let's see.
Bull. I don't want to be dragged into this.
Oh, look at that. There's Plymouth right over there. So Covington.
Oh,
hey,
God.
look at that. There's Covington.
Continue.
Delegates to form a high council who would, among themselves...
Oh, Bellevue.
elect a
That's where
president to
Valve is set up.
But the political machinations of the Davion family were all about having a monarchy, so they pushed the presidency into that, and since then the Davion family has ruled, which is really good for them. Mostly good for the Federated Sons, and it's worked out for the most part. However, Davions being Davions, one had to rule them all, so there was an early Davion civil war. The 5 marches had to decide for themselves who would be the first prince, and sharing was, apparently, not a serious consideration at any point.
Sharing? That just sounds like me not enjoying my KFC.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're going to want me to split this bucket of fried chicken. Fuck you.
If it was meant to be it may say sharing bucket, but it's being shared with my colon. Thank you very much.
It's shared between me and the 2 voices in my head. Thank you.
I don't mental illness, more like mental spiciness.
Yeah. Mental illness, don't you mean a +1 to my stats?
Exactly.
Went on to pass more legislation.
Life is a true multiplayer game now.
Because he had total military support.
I just wish it was co-op instead of
vote
versus.
how you want with a bayonet. However, the story doesn't get any worse really for some time at least. To their credit, House Davion was not a despot. They encouraged then and still championed free speech, individual liberties, and personal freedom. But in the end, it is a monarchy. Considering the mostly beneficial ruling arrangement, some will label Davion a father-knows-best state, which has many times, but not always, been justified in its actions. As such, it is seen as one of the more stable houses on account of broad public support. I will admit this. Though they can be miserably righteous and annoying, they're frequently not evil, just smug. And yes, that is just as bad. The armed forces of the Federated Sons have historically been one of the most professional militaries in the Inner Sphere, originally formed from peacekeepers and always kept as modern as state industries could allow. These guys even developed the predecessors to the Warhammer on their own dime in the earliest years of Battletech. Even when they're wrong, they're almost right.
Dude, I love that style. It's almost like actual World War II propaganda kind of aesthetic.
Oh yeah, Tex usually hires a lot of artists that make some really good work. He's hired 3D modelers who can remake these for little short animations. He hires character artists. He goes the extra mile to make sure that these look as nice as they do. So
no, very stylized. I like it.
Yeah. Please watch the original video and give him a view, please, because this kind of stuff is the stuff I live for.
Mostly.
Yeah, these guys. This one's gonna make some people's blood boil.
Next door,
the faction ran by George Takai.
Like them as much
Oh
for a number of
my.
reasons. The Capellan Confederation is the youngest kid on the block as successor states go. It's a socialistic police state that has almost, but not always, been under the control of one family, House Liao. The head of the state is the Chancellor, who is, in the Capellan Confederation, one nod away from making you disappear. To say that it is a police state is not an act of hyperbole.
Sith asking, offering KFC for previous transgressions. Be cool now, right?
We really making KFC the moniker of like acceptability within this? Like,
Are you kidding me? If it was if it was up to me, we would replace the currency with KFC.
God, as if we didn't need to worry about diabetes being the leading cause of death. Now we're gonna worry about mechs and diabetes.
How much does that mech cost? 3,600 buckets of chicken.
That's a lot of chicken.
Yes, it is. But you were about to what were you about to say? Sorry.
Something reflections of how these kind of like as sci-fi and as dystopian and as fantasy as they are, they're all grounded in some semblance of our normal reality.
Yeah, sci-fi has always been kind of a reflection of our world back at ourselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I like seeing the historical aspects of this universe, because you kind of start seeing the parallels to our world, and then you get uncomfortable, and then you get to play a game where you blow stuff up.
Exactly.
But substantiated fact. However, it wasn't always so. What started as a collection of states uniting for common defense and well-being slowly grew over hundreds of years through successive generations of
Look, there's
philosophy
Glasgow.
from one house into an autocratic
Damn
state
it.
with a single dictator. Some would say this is a functional dictatorship, but dictators tend toward having some sort of functional agenda or understanding of strategic power. But in truth, there's actually three forces that run this place, at least in theory. They are the Chancellor, the Prefectorate, and the House of Scions. The Chancellor is the CIC of the Armed Forces, Special Forces, and the face of the state in matters of foreign policy. The Chancellor can also make decrees and legislative changes at will. It's a powerful position, to say the least, and has nearly always been a lifetime appointment for House Liao. The Prefectorate is the body of state regional entities and greater nobility. The House of Scions isn't, mostly. Needless to say, the Chancellor seems to get his or her way more often than not. But the other two governmental branches will act to frustrate or block particular agendas. What's interesting about the Capellan Confederation is that its citizens, or rather I should say resident aliens born there, are not citizens. Not yet, anyways. In fact, in the Confederation, citizenship must be earned, and the state is the sole measure of that esteem. Children are legally, in every way, wards of the state under limited provisional supervision granted by the government.
Whoa, it's
to their
England! Yo! Oh, what's that? You're 10? Okay, so where's your 8 years of experience to get into this retail job, huh?
Yeah. You're going to need to talk to your managers, and by that I mean your parents, because, you know, what are you doing putting your mom as a reference? You mean your former employer?
or
I just
other
see parts of my own
assigned
society in
legal
that.
guardians. At age 15, each child is thoroughly examined by the government to see if they have a proven commitment to the state. Those who are deemed worthy.
At 15, you have to take a test to make sure that you're loyal.
Oh, what's that? You had one capitalistic KFC from the other country? Oh dear,
Ooh,
it's the internment camps with you. You're only
yeah.
allowed the state approved legally distinct KFC.
Yeah, we're going to have to take you to be, how shall we say, re-educated about your fried chicken preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Disappointing look.
Man,
Dot.
you know, I don't want to be part of any of these states that doesn't allow me to indulge myself with obscene amounts of fried chicken. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we measure our freedom around here by our access to fried chicken. Thank you very much.
Seems like a failed state to me if you don't have KFC or
Oh,
some kind of fried chicken.
There you go. And you can tell that the economy is doing well when you can find a Taco Bell and a KFC in the same building.
Don't say that. I live in the country where we're slowly losing all of our more unique fooderies for the sake of Americanized stuff. I've just moved back into the city that I used to live in when I was a kid. Back then, we had all kinds of mom and pop shops. Now it's all KFC, McDonald's, and Costa Coffees.
Oh, don't you worry. Soon enough, you'll be as obese as the rest of us over here.
Not if my gym has anything to say about it.
Hey, announcer. I'm dragging Makari into learning about Battletech. So, brought a gun and a sword to a gunfight. Yeah, that is House Karita. I have a sword in my left hand and a gun in my right. I think I win.
Citizenship. Those who are not are given a grace period for a second evaluation, but failure to measure up as a citizen for any reason results in becoming a non-citizen, which are frequently referred to as state servitors. By the succession wars, this non-citizen class had become an enormous part of the population, a population that, I must state, had no rights and was legally state property. This was reversed in 3052 when Sun Tzu Liao became chancellor and abolished servitor slavery. Not all Capellan chancellors are assholes. Most.
Not all.
Well, the record speaks for itself. The military of the Confederation.
Yeah, not all of them are assholes. Let me give you a brief snippet as to what kind of people the Capellans are. They had one of their worlds essentially destroyed, called Tentavel, And they were so hurt about it, they forced all the other planets to sign an agreement that said that you can't use weapons of mass destruction against civilian populations. Do you want to know what the Capellans then immediately did?
Combustion from lack of courtesy.
That's unconfirmed, but the story thing that happened next is that they found one of the states that did not sign the charter, and then proceeded to gas and nuke all of their worlds. That's the kind of
So a Tuesday in the Warhammer universe? That sounds about right.
essentially, yes, but that gives you just a snapshot of what kind of assholes these people are, and why nobody likes them.
Forces have traditionally been the underdog, but have never shied away from a fight. They frequently are pushed into doing far too much with far too little, and on top of it, have to face the catastrophic political and military meddling of a chancellor who may or may not understand the difference between entertainment and war. The fact that Capellan State has not been conquered outright speaks volumes to the abilities of the CCAF, who have demonstrated battlefield insanity as a doctrine for nearly 8 centuries. The Capellan economy is centrally planned and is designed on the principle that sufficient planning can overcome hardship. This has produced mixed results. The Confederation always endures, but at what cost?
Oh, the foundation of this one is going to make you laugh a little bit.
I can only tell by those silly little hats that it might be England.
Next door is the Free Worlds League. I don't say House Merrick because, well, it's complicated. Also, their history isn't terrible as some make it out to be. Yes, the greatest threat to America is America, but glory to America. But it wasn't always so. The Free Worlds League was actually
The only thing
formed.
the Brits hate more than foreigners are the British.
Oh yeah, no, but the funny thing about the Free Worlds League is that more often or not, members of House Merrick are at civil war with each other to figure out who gets to sit in the big seats. So that's why they're saying, on paper,
I
House
totally
Merrick.
understand that.
Yeah,
Those are some pretty fancy seats.
on paper, House Merrick is in charge, but then you ask which Merrick, and then everyone draws a blank.
Good.
Before the Terran hegemony, born out of the early Terran Alliance's colonial struggles and then collapse as an early power. Your homeworld falling apart in early colonization was, well, somewhat on the catastrophic end of things. So nations which weathered that catastrophe learned self-reliance. The Free Worlds League was originally an agreement between 3 existing nations: the Merrick Republic, the Regan Principality, and the Federation of Oriente. Amazingly enough, the founders of the League owe most of their success to a guy named Short Humphreys, who was the negotiator between the nations.
But yeah, the way he got these 3 governments to ultimately unite is kind of funny.
5 damn sessions. They did further negotiate away when it came to devastation. They threw nobody under the bus. Instead, they championed him. That is righteous. So how did it go down? You see, of the 3 nations, Merrick was on top of it. Merrick didn't like the idea of union at all. Not at first. He thought it would work. Working others didn't like the idea. In fact, it's in the state of affairs. Because Humphreys were down. Like reformers. And the only reason I bring this up is because what going on isn't politics. It doesn't appeal to power or glory or riches or conquest or history books. It was in fact nurture. See, Merrick is
Okay, so, a little phraseology right now. Big old men have mustaches. People with strength swords. No, man, that dude is 50 90 freaking TIs up in my fang. Boy, what the hell?
So yeah, every year old can warm mustaches 49 because they like 40 hair. Just sitting there, cracking open cases, saying, "Don't touch this, but it doesn't look cool." Hey, how do you form an empire?
You can build your entire faction, or you're enjoying the merger. Well, his merger quite there's something wrong with him.
Exile?
The
No, just have opposite verses. Say that
Oh,
nice
my hand.
You're looking on me.
Do extra lights.
Yes, we're showing screen. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, well, I need to restart, so we're just gonna have to throw out the YouTube work there. Yeah, economics.